Hey, you guys, this video is for all of the trifling grandmothers and trifling granddaddies. I'm going to put y'all in here too because y'all trifling too. That feel like because you had your kids early in life, in your early teenage years, your early 20s, whatever, you missed out on your teens, you missed out on your 20s, and you feel like now that your children are grown with children, you feel like they are solely responsible for your grandchildren, and you will see your grandkids when you see them, and you do little to nothing for your grandkids. Your kids can barely call on you for anything. You don't really help assist your kids in raising your grandchildren because you feel like you had to get it out the mud. Nobody helped you with yours. Life was hard when you was raising your kids or whatever. You was a single mom or you was a teenage mom. You had your kids, like I said, in early 20s or whatever. And you feel like it's your time to shine. Well, let me tell you something. You're not shining if you out here being one of them trifling grandmas or trifling granddaddies that's out here living your life and not helping your kids raise their children and not helping make life, easy as possible as you possibly can when you got time, or when you make time to help them throughout their life. Now that they're building a family or whatever, you wrong, you trifling. Let me tell you something. I got pregnant at 15, had my baby at 16, and continue to have 4 more kids up until I was 27. That was real ghetto, real trifling. It didn't make no sense. Very dysfunctional. It was a hot mess. But guess what? That was my hot mess. That was my situation that I created for myself. And I never blame my parents, never blame the daddies, never blame nobody. I always assumed full responsibility and accountability for having my children. That's why I always did what I had to do, and I still continue to do what I have to do. And I don't point fingers at other people for what they do or don't do for my kids. And with that being said, I still feel responsible and accountable to have to be there to help my children in raising their children. I feel like it is my duty to be there to help assist them in raising their kids. I feel like all children deserve a village in raising them. They need a village. And in that village, the grandparents should be the head of that village. We should be the example. We should be the go-to person for, wisdom and for advice and, and when they need help, if they may need a ride from school or, or need someone to babysit or whatever while they go to work or go to college or whatever. If we're able, now if you're not able, I understand, but if you are able and your life is set up where you can be there to help make things easier on your children, whether they're single or married, as a parent, that's something that you should want to do. That's something that you should feel honored and blessed to be able to do. I've seen many young grandmothers that lives are set up where they could do a lot for their children, their adult children and their grandchildren, but they don't because they feel like them raising their children and getting them grown was all that they were supposed to do. And now everything is all on their kids. Well, in my book, as long as I'm living, I'm going to always be a pillar, always be a rock for my kids, and always be here for my kids and grandkids and help make life as easy as I possibly can around my life, because yes, I'm still going to live my life. Yes, I'm still going to travel. Yes, I'm still going to, make sure I don't neglect my husband and things like that, trying to help my adult children that also have their own families and their own lives. But I am going to continue to put my children, my adult children and my grandchildren in my schedule and balance my life around my adult children and my grandchildren, because I'm going to forever be their mother and grandmother, period, point blank, period. My kids come first. And if you are a child of God, you know that your children are your first ministry and they need us. They still need our guidance. Even though they are adults, they still need our support and our love. They still need to know that we are here for them. We are cheering for them. So you see me in this video over to my daughter Naya's house, mopping the floor for her, cleaning up, Chosen's room by washing down his wall or whatever, and washing down the baseboards or whatever, because that's the only thing that I saw that needed to be done when I came in, because Naya had pretty much did everything else. And also I'm going to help her finish putting up her Christmas stuff or whatever. And I don't see this as a burden. I see this as a blessing, and it is an honor to be in a position again to be able to help my children. And for the grandparents that desire to do the same thing that I do for my children and for my daughter, but life circumstances, have enabled you to where you cannot do it. I understand. I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking about those grandparents who lives are set up where they could do more, but they choose not to do more because it's all about them. It's all about them and their man and their new life and their freedom, as if, being a parent when they were raising their kids was a prison. You know, that's sad. That's a sad way to think about your own children. Your children are a blessing from God, regardless of how they got here, regardless of the circumstances that they were born in. They're your blessing from God, your responsibility. And as long as you have health, strength, and life, you should be there for your kids. You know, to want your kids to struggle like you struggled and to figure life out the hard way like you had to figure it out is so selfish. Be there to help make life easier on your kids. They deserve it. They deserve it. And your grandchildren deserve it. So, you know, just continue to be a good parent if you are that parent that's doing what I do. And those that's not doing it, I hope you are inspired to do it. In Jesus' name, y'all have a blessed day.